Now to this, outrage and sorrow after the prison death of Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny. His wife was speaking out earlier, calling out President Putin for his death. All this amid concerns over Russia potentially deploying nuclear weapons into outer space. Joining us now, retired four-star General Jack Keane, a Fox News strategic analyst, senior strategic analyst. Don't want to take your title down a notch, General. Thanks for being here. Appreciate your time. First to Navalny, obviously Russia is trying to psychologically torture this poor woman by not returning the body of her husband. But is it also possible that in addition to sending a message to other people who oppose the regime, that they could be erasing evidence of what happened to him?
Oh, yeah, certainly. I mean, the pattern of behavior with Putin for 24 years now is to literally kill off his opponents. Anybody that has any consequential following whatsoever, assassination on the street, assassination by poisoning, and we don't know what the circumstances that brought on his death here, but certainly Putin is likely behind it, either just by simply imprisoning somebody that shouldn't be imprisoned, or actually having a direct hand in causing his death. Listen, it also is very revealing about Putin. Look at this guy. I mean, he's brutal, he's a thug, he's ruthless, and he shares the same attribute that all dictators do, and that he's paranoid and insecure. And what is he really paranoid and insecure about? His own people. That's why he doesn't want opposition, because he's afraid that opposition will point out the weaknesses of his regime and galvanize the people against him. President Xi in China, absolutely paranoid. I mean, it's an open secret that Xi fears his own people more than he fears adversaries like the United States. And that's what's playing out right before our eyes here.
You actually bring me to the next topic, because you bring up Chinese President Xi, and there's this reporting that Fox News confirmed that the administration has been pressuring China, and that effort's really getting underway now, to push Russia not to deploy this emerging nuclear capability in space that would have far-reaching consequences for everything from GPS systems to our economy to the operations and communications of our military. Michael Waltz, Congressman, was on with us last hour, and he said this about what the administration needs to do.
We need to be communicating to the Russians consequences if they violate what is a 50-year-old strategy of not putting nukes in place. We can't take a concessions-based approach. We have to put in place real consequences, and the Russians have to understand that we mean it, and that we have the political will to implement. So that's what I'm looking for going forward.
Do you see President Xi teaming up with President Biden on that?
Yeah. Let me circle back for a second on the previous question, so our viewers understand. Right now, Putin is spending 9% of GDP on his war-footing economy, so our sanctions haven't had much impact on him. The best way to uphold what Navalny stands for is to stop Putin in Ukraine, punish him, take away his military entourage and his military capability that he's put together for the second time. And that would have profound impact on the people's impression of him. Dealing with this other question on Russia putting a nuclear weapon in space, I mean, what we have to take a look at here is certainly that is a serious issue. Nobody can take it lightly. Congressman Turner certainly wanted to make certain that the American people understood what was really happening here. So you say to yourself, well, what is Putin really up to here? I mean, he knows if he sets off a nuclear weapon in low orbit, where all of our satellites are, it would burn his satellites just as much as ours, the Chinese, and his friends out there as well. I think what he's really seeking here is leverage.
Okay.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.